when these cameras fetch literally, try one more time, and I'm gonna get it. Oh my god, I'm gonna insert. Oh, I got it. Oh my god, guys, I am so excited. I've got something special to show you guys today, something I've been wanting for a while. This is a camera, a video camera that I've been wanting for a long time, since I've really started getting into the camera reviews. And it's been kind of hard to get. And there's a couple reasons for that. One, it's just too expensive on the used market. I mean, this camera right now, the body alone, just on the used, it literally is going for $400 to $500. And for someone who's just like, you know, collecting or is just a passive user of these cameras, that seems just a little bit just dumb to do, even though I would do it for certain cameras. But then the other thing is, when the prices did come down, because you can find these cameras for under $200, I just could never afford it because the money wasn't there. But lo and behold, to the gods in the skies, the stars have aligned for I, the one, the only, the Papa Bug. Because guess what? Everything fell in place because I had the money at the right time that the price was dropped, and we're now gonna go into the office area, the thinking room, and we're gonna unbox this. And of course, we're gonna see what it's all about, take a look around, and go try it out and see what you guys think. But I just can't wait to show you guys, so let's go.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to what I consider my war room, where I come up with all the wonderful ideas for these videos, unlike this narration, which just happened to be an afterthought once I started editing this video, so pray to baby Jesus this thing works out. And what do we got here, guys? We got the first of two packages, and this definitely is not the camera, but doesn't mean I'm not excited to get into it, so wait a minute, hold up. Is there something else in here? No, there's not. So let's move the box to the side and cut this thing open with something sharp, unlike my mind. First thing we find is a power cable, and it's great to have a power cable when you need power. And then we have what it looks like a battery, which is the size of my manhood. But you know what? It's not the manhood that matters, the size-wise, it's the motion in the ocean. Also here we have a manual, and you know what? I'll never read it, but it's nice to have. So we don't need the box, put that to the side, and you know what? Let's dip into the main course of this meal, guys. And oh, like my mind, I lost the sharp object. Oh, and unlike my mind, I found the sharp object. So we're gonna cut this thing open, unravel it, and, well, save the bubble wrap from my hemorrhoids later. Now, at this point, I'm kind of surprised I'm not jumping into this more hardcore, but you know what? I'm still doing it, and oh, baby, look what I found. I found the camera, and it's something I've waited for. This is the Sony NEX-VG10. It came out in 2010 with an MSRP of $2,000. On the used market right now, if you're lucky, you can find it for $180, but as well $300, which is the main price going right now. Now, this thing shoots video at 1080p and takes photo at 14 megapixels, guys. And if you really want to get a lens for it, because usually it's just the body that costs that price, it takes an E-mount lens from Sony, which is a very versatile lens. So now that we got the lens put on, and let's insert this battery and see if this thing works. It might take a second checking it out where it's going, and oh my God, guess what, boys and girls? It works. Check it out. It works. I am so excited about that, and I'm going to share it with you guys. So let's go check it out and find out what's so special about this camera.
So now, you might be asking yourself, what's so special about this camcorder right here versus all the other camcorders of 2010 or even today? Well, it's this right here, the lens. That's right, this lens makes this thing the top dog of the time period and even today. Because, see, most camcorders that came out back then or even now were pretty much unibodied cameras, which means that the lens and the camera were one and the same. So what you got is what you got. You were stuck with it. You couldn't get out there and do all that cinematic, wanderlust that most people can with a camera like this. And yeah, you could get a interchangeable lens camera that would work for doing nice videos and stuff. But the problem was, they start at like 7, 10, 12 grand. And the average person who is making films isn't going to want to, or the average person making home movies or going to the amusement park with their kids isn't going to want to spend, 15 grand on a camera, then the lenses and all the other crazy stuff. That just seems a little bit much. And if they were somebody that would spend that kind of money on a camera, well, they're just too bulky. That means they're going to have to hire a crew. And who the hell is going to hire a crew just to run around at the family amusement park just so they can do some family things? They would rather have something like this. Now, if you wanted to find something else that was comparable to this, you could. Because SLRs or DSLRs were cameras that had interchangeable lenses. But there was a couple key problems with that right there, guys. One, they were photos first. That's right, they focused back then on just photos and then video. And now they're great. You see a lot of content made today with DSLRs. But back then, you wouldn't. Because again, they were photos first. And when you made films and videos with them, you had to do it in 10-minute blocks. Because after 10 minutes, they shut down. Versus something like this that would run and run and run. And speaking of running and checking stuff out, let's go look at some of the footage of this, some of the photos of this, because this actually does photos too, 14 megapixels. And let's go see how it looks. Let's go.
They tell you to take it one day at a time, but it's hard when everything reminds you of your one true love. She was everything to me, and everywhere I go and everything I see reminds me of her. The city we once were in always reminds me of my Jezebel. I don't think I can live another day without her. So God damn it, I will find her. She will be mine once again.
So, there it is. Another wonderful camera to add to my obsession that I've got going on. What did you guys think? I mean, I personally thought it was awesome. I mean, the video quality and the photo quality was just really surprising for what it was, especially from the time period. I mean, I found myself using it as much as an SLR as a video camera because it really handles nicely, I think. And the audio quality, oh my God, I just could have, it felt like I could get a whisper from across the room, and it just blew me away on how good the audio quality was on this camera. But if you know cameras, like I know cameras, and most camera people know this, there is no perfect camera. There is no camera on the shelf or in the world that you will find that is perfect camera. And well, this little camera is no different. In fact, it has quite a few flaws that I look over, but they're there. For one, this camera is very top heavy, or in this case, front heavy. Because if you get a lens that might be a little bigger than it or weigh a little bit more than it, because of the size of the body itself, you feel that weight kind of pulling you forward a little bit. You know, it's manageable, but you do feel it. And with that, the lenses, you can only use the proprietary E-mount lenses. That's kind of a bummer in my book because I have an E-mount to EF lens adapter because I got a lot of Canon lenses that I would love to be able to use, but it won't connect because the pins have to connect with the connectors in the lenses or it won't read it. It just won't do any recording or nothing because it just dies out. And as well, the sound, as I mentioned, it's good. It's really good. So good it picks up everything. And when it comes to lenses, that is a huge downfall. Because if you want to use a lens that you want to focus in and out with, well, guess what? You're going to pick up all the sound of the focus the whatever, whatever that is, the focus in there. And I went and got a prime lens just because of that, because I don't want to hear that every time I'm focusing in. So, I mean, you can still use those focus, but that means you need to get a wireless mic and stand away or play some sounds over it. And that to me is kind of a buzzkill. But it is what it is, the time period. And speaking of the time period, the screen does not flip around. It only goes, so far. And that to me says that Sony wasn't very forward thinking in the time period. Nikon, like if you get the old Nikon photo cameras that actually have good video quality, their screens flip all the way around because they were forward thinking that people are going to be vlogging. Because at this time in 2010, people really were picking up on the vlogging posts because you can find a lot of great vloggers from that time period. So you think Sony would want to jump on that, but they didn't. So if you wanted to take this camera and go out vlogging, with this size, you got to bring an external monitor, which is kind of a bummer. Because when I go out to do vlogs somewhere, I'm going to take smaller cameras with me. And I would love to take this camera, but the screen doesn't flip around, so you're out of luck. Maybe the later models had it, but I don't know. This is one of the first ones of this, so maybe if I get the 900, which I'd like to, we'll see if the screen flips all the way around. And speaking of the recording, when you're recording, it only has one record button on the back end with where your thumb's at, where you have the on-off button. And that's kind of sucks sometimes, because if you want to do some low-hanging fruit with it, and you want to push the trigger like a lot of my cameras have, you can't. Which is not that big of a deal. It's not a deal breaker. None of this is a deal breaker, actually. But it might be some things you want to consider if you look into this camera. Now, with that being said, is this camera really worth the price tag? And, well, that depends. Are you looking for a small, compact camera to, work with you on scene, that you want to make some good video content with, to compare with big cameras? Then no, this camera is definitely not worth the money, because one, the same amount of money you spent on this, you can buy a C11 for a little bit more money or just a little bit less. I don't know. You can get a good older video camera that does what you want for about the same amount of money. So that seems like if you're going for that idea, then you're going to be wasting your money. And on top of that, it has no in-house stabilization. I don't think a lot of video cameras have it, but this type of camera is made to travel. This camera is made for the average guy or person to video for their family. This isn't really made for studio work, really. It's just supposed to give somebody that experience of interchangeable lenses. So in that case, are you wanting a small compact camera that gives you good video quality for, those family outings or at the park or something like that, and you can deal with these non-stabilization? Then yeah, it's definitely worth it. Do you like fun, weird, quirky cameras like I do? Then hell yes, this camera is worth it. It is a really good camera, and I don't feel at all that I wasted any money on this little beauty. So you should, if you really want one of these, you should at least look into it and then see if you can find a deal on it, because you can find these things for under $200, but you can also find them for around $600. So just be careful where you're going. Now, with all that being said, remember what I always tell you. Go get a camera and show the world how you see it. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. I love you guys. Check you later.